Hi everyone. Today we have Mr. Suresh Kumar, Chief Principal Secretary to CM Punjab with us, and we're so excited to have him here. He's also the one who launched our channel back in 2018, so this interview is very special for us. For those of you who don't know him, Mr. Suresh Kumar is one of the decision makers of Punjab, and he is also one of the members of the Steel Frame of Resistance against Corona. So very good afternoon, sir, and welcome to TrueScoop. We're really excited to have you here. We know you're making some really big decisions for all of us, and we'd love to hear more about that today.
Thank you, Khyati, thank you, TrueScoop, and I've been looking forward to talk to you, all of you. And this is unfortunate that we have to talk at a time when COVID pandemic is going on and the whole world is totally devastated with this pandemic.
So, sir, my first question would be, lengthy lockdown will kill more people than COVID. This was a statement by Mr. Narayan Murthy, founder of Infosys. He also added that 9 million people die naturally, and when you compare it to the 1,000 deaths in the past 2 months, of course it's not as much panic as we think it is. So how much truth do you think there is in his statement?
The statement you're referring of Narayan Murthy is not too incorrect. People, there are other diseases, there are other reasons, and for people dying and for people not kind of securing their livelihood. But at the same time, the kind of pandemic, the coronavirus we have, is totally uncertain, unknown in its behavior. In such a situation, to contain it, to manage it, to see that the losses which are occurring to human lives, to economy, are in some way or the other are minimized. So right now the focus is to contain virus, see that it does not spread, because you and me, because of some reasons, because of our living, are secure. The poorest are the worst hit. And for that, one of the various ways is to get into lockdown, restrict movement of people, restrict the activities, maintain social distancing, wear mask, and try and do only the least kind of activities. People in Punjab are particularly used to socialization, moving, enjoying life. That is good. Nobody can deny that. This is their right. They have earned for it. They worked for it. Hardworking people of Punjab deserve a better living. But these are difficult times. These are uncertain times. So in uncertain times, these kind of unprecedented decisions have to be taken.
Right, sir. So, talking about the revenue loss in Punjab, Punjab suffered 88% revenue loss in April, according to our Honourable CM, Captainamarindersingh. Our Prime Minister also announced a relief package for the country recently. What are Punjab's plans to reboost its economy? Is it planning any direct benefits, wage subsidies, or is it planning deferment of interest or wages? Because a lot of other countries have introduced a lot of stimulus packages, especially for its small and medium-sized companies. What are Punjab's plans for the industry?
See, it's true that we've lost about 88% of our revenue in April 2020. We were supposed to get about 3,360 crores and we got just 396 crores. This is unsustainable. There is not much of a fiscal space available to the states to levy more taxes. That means the Government of India has to think through and do some innovative fiscal management, think of some innovative measures and give revenue deficit grants and more money to the states. I'm happy the Prime Minister addressed to the nation. He's agreed to infuse about 10% of the national GDP, which is about 20 lakh crores, into the economy, just to spur the economic activities. We are yet to see the details of these grants and the money which is going to come from Government of India. How much does Punjab get out of it? And I think we've been very frequently writing, and our Chief Minister have been very frequently talking to the Prime Minister. We have given a lot of suggestion to kind of infuse our economy, particularly for industry, the migrant workers, the landless workers. Fortunately for us, we've done very well. Our agriculture economy, our rural economy is still not doing bad. Very recently, today, we have purchased about 118,000 metric tons of wheat, now, which is unprecedented. In this COVID scenario, crisis, curfew, lockdown, pandemic, we have infused roughly about 26,000 crores into the rural economy by way of purchase price we have paid to the farmers. And likewise, we are worried about our cities and urban areas, our industry. Today, 3 days back, only 2% industries were working. Today, 12% industry has started working. 35% of workers who had opted to go back have decided to stay back. About 1.3 million workers have wanted to go back. Out of that, roughly about 500,000, 5 lakh people have decided to stay back. They started working in the factories. They started working on the paddy fields. So it is a positive sign. I think once the Government of India's package's details are known, we will be planning our further actions, whether we try and give direct benefit transfers to the poor workers, Narega workers, or we think of some other way of compensating industry and the workers.
Right. So talking about labour law amendments, states like MP and UP have exempted their industries from some of the acts that kind of limit their working. Is Punjab planning something similar? And if it's not, then don't you think such states would take away all the revenue that Punjab gets from exports, which primarily boost its industries like hosiery, sports goods and hand tools?
True. We need to amend the labor laws, labor reforms. We are definitely planning. We hope to make some amendments, and which will help to kind of encourage industry. But at the same time, see, the amendments to the labor laws cannot be such that we take away the civil liberties and basic rights of the workers. So it's a fine balance we have to achieve. The state government is working on it.
That's great, sir. That's good to know. So let's talk about the healthcare system in Punjab. The healthcare system in Punjab has been questioned recently for not providing the appropriate measures to deal with COVID-19. Protective equipments for doctors and nurses were also eyed upon. Some people are not allowed to get their tests done, and some people are too scared to get it done because of the stories that they've heard about the insensitivity of the medical fraternity or the lack of proper hygienic circumstances. A lot of people have also hidden in this fear. Do you think this fear is legitimate, or there is only half truth to it? Also, what are Punjab's plan in streamlining its healthcare system, and how does Punjab plan on making its people comfortable about visiting the hospital?
See, if I say fear in this present situation of COVID pandemic is any fear is unknown or unfounded, it is not correct.
Right.
This crisis is totally uncertain. Nothing was known and nobody was prepared. Right. Much less our health systems were prepared. In fact, by imposing lockdown and curfew, we bought time to prepare our health systems. We upgraded them. We bought lots of equipment. We bought ventilators. We bought PP kits. We bought masks. We bought everything possible which the hospitals required. And I'm happy to say that public sector healthcare system, that means the government hospitals, government colleges, government health professionals, the paramedic staff, the lower level health workers, everybody has done commendably well. Unfortunately, there was very little support in the beginning from the private health sector professionals. But over the days, as the crisis has unfolded, as things have improved or further known, as we have gained more knowledge from other countries, we have been getting a lot of cooperation even from private health sector. We have in Punjab government issued an ordinance which is called Punjab Clinical Establishment Act, just to regulate the private health professionals and private clinical establishments to see that they do not run away from their ethical duties. Take, for example, you must have heard about the case in Moga. There was a pregnant lady and she was consulting a private gynecologist. The day she was expected to deliver, the COVID crisis was there, curfew was there, and the private gynecologist did not take her case, and the lady delivered on the road. And this kind of a violation of human rights, this kind of a violation of civil liberties cannot be tolerated. At the same time, health professionals are doing a great job. They deserve some protection. We have ensured them. We are giving them whatever best possible assistance and relief and taking care of their families. That is the duty of the government. That we are aware. But health professionals have to do their job. Nobody else can do that. They are the true corona warriors at this stage.
Right, sir. So bringing back people from different states and countries has been an important decision that was made recently, but it exposes a lot of people within the state more heavily to the virus. Do you think we're doing the right thing in bringing them back? And also, is Punjab ready to test and quarantine those 20,000 Indian nationals who are coming back to the state?
Yes, we are fully prepared to quarantine and test them. We are right also in bringing them because they are Punjabis, they are our brothers and sisters. There is no way we can ignore them. They have to be brought, but there is only one caveat there. Once they are brought to Punjab, they have to follow the protocol on testing, on quarantine, on isolation. They cannot escape that. Nobody can. In fact, whether it is small or big, they are our Punjabis. We love them. They have to come back. Punjab is their home, but they will have to follow the protocol on quarantine, testing, isolation. There is no compromise on that.
Right, sir. So now we would love to know a little bit about your working. You know, the normal man is experiencing stress in a different shape, whether having to sit at home doing nothing. You and other officers on the other end are having to make some really important decisions that will define the course of Punjab's fight against this pandemic. So, sir, what are your toughest decisions that you've had to make in the past few days?
See, right now, the two major challenges we had was the migrant workers and the procurement. The way we planned our procurement, we've done commendably well. We have been able to secure the livelihood of over 2 million farming families. Likewise, roughly about 1 million farmers engaged, landless workers who are engaged in the agriculture. 3 million families we have tried to save the livelihood. That was a major challenge and major task we've done. We've also, in upgradation of health systems, providing them requisite consumables, PP kits and other things required to contain COVID. That also we've done very well. Third major challenge was managing the migrant workers. As I said earlier, over 1.3 million migrant workers, both from the agriculture, industrial side, were willing to go back. We've looked after, we provided them food, shelter, and we've tried to now, we've funding about 400 trains, and we are also sending them back home safely, securely, after due testing, after due medical tests and other things. So, nobody in Punjab has gone hungry. Nobody in Punjab has suffered because the government was not there. It is just that the COVID-19 is so uncertain that sometime even we are also taken unawares. So that situation arises, but Punjabis have been looked after very well. Punjabis are welcome wherever they are. We've already got over 150,000 Punjabis from other states and other countries. In next few weeks, we are expecting another 50,000, 60,000 people coming from abroad and other states. We are fully prepared for it. We have identified, we made temporary. We have both paid quarantine facilities and unpaid quarantine facilities, depending on whatever is convenient. But everybody will have to, as I said earlier, everybody will have to go through the protocols and requirements, precautions required to contain COVID-19. We are not going to compromise on containment measures on COVID.
Right, sir. So, sir, just summing the whole interview up, recently AIMS director said that cases in India will spike in June, July. If that were to happen, will Punjab continue its lockdown or will it continue to open in phases? What are some of the highlighters of Punjab's exit strategy?
Our strategy is very, very definite. Yes, lockdown 4, as Prime Minister said, as Chief Minister told the Prime Minister, we are anticipating another spike because lots of people are coming from abroad and other states. So we will continue with lockdown. But see, the challenge is to save lives of people and secure their livelihood. At the same time, those who cannot afford to live in the lockdown, we will allow some activities. We've, as it is allowed, opening of commercial establishment, industry. We are trying to open the tiny industries, the cottage industries, the industry where the labor doesn't come from outside. So we are trying to attend every aspects of socio-economic living of people and gradually try to bring it to the normal. Our major challenge today is also the coming wheat paddy sowing, cotton sowing. If the cotton sowing is taken care, the paddy sowing, the rice cultivation is taken care in the next about 8 weeks, that is another challenge we have to fulfill. So gradually we will kind of restore the living in the rural areas. Gradually we are opening up the industry. We are trying to work on a strategy which says only containment in the red districts also, red zones also, only the containment zone. That means where no more positive cases of COVID are there, then we'll create a buffer zone and maybe rest of the districts can function normally. So these are the measures which are under consideration. The new strategy will unfold from 18th May 2020, and we are sure that we are going to restore economic life, social life of people. But there are some things with which we have to live. Social distancing, not to mix socially too often, respect the curfew and the lockdown restrictions. When you go to the markets, maybe you will find one shop open today and one tomorrow. Also, each person, as the Prime Minister said, 2 गज दूरी तो बना के रखनी होगी. So ये 2 गज दूरी वाला जो सिद्धांत है, we'll have to follow this. This is not the normal time. This is not the normal way of living. But with the COVID pandemic, we have to change our living styles and accept COVID has to become a way of life. By changing our lifestyles, we have to defeat the COVID pandemic. And I'm confident the Punjab government, the Punjabis will defeat it because we learn very fast, we learn to change very fast, and we are changing very fast. That's what Punjab is, and that's why we are successful so far.
Right. Thank you so much, sir, for this interview. I'm sure this will help Punjabis stay afloat in these challenging times. Once again, thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you, Khyati, thank you, TrueScoop. Have a good time, and I wish all the success to TrueScoop.